Hey, what is up, mother fuckers? How's everybody doing? You all having a good time? You having a good time? Yeah. Good.
So good.
We got fun stuff to do today, but you know, politics stuff. It's always good. But we'll, have a little like fun to start with, like we've been doing lately, while we wait for people to come out in.
All right, today we're in Lisbon, Portugal's capital, of course, and I must confess, today I am a little bit concerned about the challenge which lies afoot, because you only get 20 minutes in which to do it, and it looks flipping massive. Look at that. Who's doing that in 20 minutes?
Jesus.
Hopefully very little. Sort of like 4'2" or something like that, which might make the burger finishable. But there's a free meal at stake, so we're gonna get in there, give it a try anyway. Who's gonna... Doesn't look too bad. It looks smaller in this picture than it does in the one I just showed you. You have to compare it to the fillings and the knife. So if it comes out like that, we might be all right.
I think you're just trying to convince yourself there.
Yeah, probably. It's bigger than it looks from the outside. It's a big restaurant. Hola.
Oh.
They're not tiny people. They're normal-sized people. Damn. Always nice when they've got some type of visual asset in the restaurant, which encourages people to order the challenge.
Around 600 people already tried. None managed. Only that guy there.
What a boss.
He's a tiny person. He's quite small.
Apple head.
He's about my
That's
size.
fun. It does the
So
whole
maybe there's
screen
something
now. That's
about
weird. Not just
people who are
on camera.
approximately 155 pounds. He's drinking a beer too. What a chad.
I don't like you,
What
honestly.
a Chad.
600 people have failed.
You don't need to remind me, I did hear him say it. You just need to bet against me again. That's the key.
I think I'm gonna lose today. I've got this horrible feeling like I'm gonna lose.
Oh
I
no.
think you are as well.
Come on, Beardy.
Oh, I can see
you
it on
got
the
this.
pass. It looks flipping massive. Oh man.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
How's your confidence going?
I am not feeling that confident, but it smells delicious, so I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it regardless.
Couple rules, simple rules.
Okay?
No leaving the table, obviously.
All right.
You can slice the burger if you want it to cool down a little bit, and you need to finish everything. So that's 1 kilo of meat, plus the extra chips, bacon, fries, anything, and 20 minutes.
Can I cut it before the timer starts? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
You only start when you actually put it on your mouth.
I'm just sort of feeling it. See how warm it is.
It's hot.
20 minutes for this, boys. What do you reckon?
Oh my god.
I feel like you'll just miss out on completing it, if I'm being honest.
This guy. All right, so today I'm at a place called Ribs and Company, which is in Lisbon, Portugal, and we're about to take on their OMG Burger Challenge. One person out of 600 has successfully beaten this in about 10 years.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, look, that's the money shot. I'm gonna try and eat it like a burger.
Holy shit. Dude, that's insane.
I'm so sorry. The only way to do this is by eating like a pig.
Oh my god.
It's for you.
I'm supposed to be the one trying to get the free food. Oh, look at that. That's got to be one of the best looking burgers I've ever eaten on this
That's
channel.
crazy.
Good technique.
Thank you.
How's it going? It's not how it starts, it's how it ends. They all do like that. They go like halfway and then I give up.
I'm trying.
That's 5 minutes down.
This is hard work.
He's got 20 minutes. He's already halfway through.
That is a tasty burger. Name the film?
I thought we were going to be something.
Reservoir Dogs?
I thought we were a Randy impression. It's Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
It's
Pulp
Kim.
Fiction. Pulp Fiction, not Reservoir Dogs. I'm so fucking stupid. Of course it's Pulp Fiction. That's where the Royale with cheese.
Don't
A tasty
say
burger.
that
Well,
about
6
your-
minutes gone through. Not bad.
You got this.
I don't know.
Can I change my mind now and say that he's probably going to do it now?
Dare you?
Oh.
I'm suffering for you, but we believe you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to breathe.
Keep going.
Eat first, breathe later.
The final quarter of the burger.
Wow, dude. He's gonna do it with like 10 minutes to spare almost.
There's no way. Still have the chips to go though.
Uh,
Halfway through.
that's true. He does have the fries too.
Do you have any barbecue sauce? That says Scotch bonnet on it, so I think I might pass on that one.
After homemade sauces. Scotch bonnet to make it a bit more challenging.
Oh, this is a workout today.
This dude is special.
Almost that.
What do you reckon? Not the Scotch bonnet. House barbecue?
Just a regular one.
Just the regular. I can't do the spicy, man. This has been hard enough so far. Trying to get a little full.
5 minutes to go, Adam.
5 minutes?
Come on.
I'm trying, right?
Just 5 minutes, come on.
Ooh, what up, Cryptic?
Fries is good.
Wow. I can't believe he
Almost,
ate all
almost.
of that. What's this, 6:57? Just want to show you what this looked like, Cryptic, since you just got here when he started, okay? Let's see if it'll... Oh, come on.
He's a tiny person.
Horrible feeling.
Massive. Very much.
This is what that looked like. Fast forward. Oh, for God's sake. He's cleaned the whole thing in just under 17 minutes. Just under 17. Dan could never.
Almost.
3 minutes to go, man.
This dude is insane. The time limit is 20 minutes.
All right.
No one apparently
This
has
is
ever
Jimmy's food,
finished it.
and that was Ribs and Company's OMG burger. Thank you, I'm so sorry.
You have been in 10 years. You are the man.
I didn't get to mention it while I was eating, but that was really yummy.
Did you taste it?
I'd say it's enough, yeah. It's good.
And for the winner,
Oh, the
Yeah.
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Well-
Oh, thank you
FYI, the name of his channel is Beard Meets Food.
very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's a cool one. It's not like dry fit stuff, so if you want to go for a run, it will wick sweat away from the body. Do you have a dessert menu?
Dessert?
Yeah, he always fucking does this too. He'll eat like the biggest thing you've ever seen in like 10, 20 minutes. And then he'll be like, do you have a dessert menu?
What?
Yeah, you gotta have dessert.
Gotta have dessert.
A little bit of sweet, right?
He was the only guy that thought I was gonna do it. What a man. Which is your favorite?
New York cheesecake.
Is this good? I haven't had pecan pie in ages.
We made this here.
Yeah, this is
Right.
homemade. Can I get the Texas pecan pie?
Of course, and if you want, we also made this.
Just one.
Little bit.
Just one. Just one.
Texas pecan pie?
Yes, please.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you proved Josh wrong.
Yeah. Well, actually, I proved both Joshes wrong. Because you didn't think I was going to do it either.
Yeah, but then when I saw it, I thought, oh, maybe you can.
Yeah, okay, you're taking it back now. That was hard fought, that one. How long do I have left?
You got 2 minutes.
Got a slice of Mama's lemon pound
You can
cake.
celebrate your victory now.
Oh, brought a
to
giant
keep the
beer.
mug.
Yes, you do.
Ah, amazing. If you finish it.
Enjoy.
Oh, thank you very much.
We like it.
I'm sure I will.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Pecan pie. A little bit
Oh,
of
that
cream.
looks good.
It's been a while since I had pecan pie. This pecan pie is so good. There's something about Portugal and tarts, and I think they got tarts down to an art.
That's so bad. That is so
This
bad.
man is just unbelievable. We're gonna watch it one more of these at least. Because this is crazy.
Yeehaw! Today we're at a place called Texas Rocks,
Actually,
which
fuck it.
is in Yeovil.
We'll go full size for the nuts.
A far cry from Texas, but they got a big fat juicy steak challenge, so we're gonna give it a bash. I think this is the back of the restaurant. It's definitely well festooned with tasty accessories, if you look on the walls and whatnot. I don't know if the challenge is actually on the menu, or... Oh wait, there it is. The steak challenge costs 80 quid, 75-ounce steak, 3 double sides. You can choose from chili cheese fries, mac and cheese, creamy garlic mushrooms, garlic bread. You get 1 hour to complete, free upon completion, and I am told there is also a t-shirt.
Ooh, free t-shirt if you finish.
Yeah. How many people do that in here really drunk on a Friday night?
Everyone.
Yeah? I'll stop then. So as you can see, they've got a little kind of man v food wall thingy. I did not realize they have not 1, not 2, but 3 different food challenges here. One of them is ice cream, one of them is a burger challenge, the other one's the one we're doing today, the steak challenge. And if you win, you get a little, you see that? A little kind of walk of fame. I thought it was a typo when it says Walk of Fame. I thought it was Wall of Fame. It's actually like the Walk of Fame in LA. You get like a little star on there. And only one person's ever done this, right? Yeah?
That's correct. Only one person has.
You know that this is definitely a Texas-themed restaurant overseas when it's Texas-themed and they do the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars on the wall. Because you know no place in Texas would want to put anything California on their wall.
Completed it.
Back in 2019. It's about time somebody else beat it, I think. Oh, the steaks. He's bringing out the fresh, raw cut of steak. This is it. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, shit.
Do you reckon you can handle it then?
Smells delicious. Already seasoned.
So, how do you want that cooked?
I realise this might get a negative reaction, but can I get that well done?
Okay.
Or as well done as possible. Yeah, I wouldn't normally, but it'll just make it easier, less sinewy, I think. Yeah, I'll take well
Okay.
done.
No worries.
I guess, yeah, if you're doing like... I guess I get it. But I feel like that might make it chewier and tougher. I don't know. I feel like a medium rare would be perfect because the inside is soft. I don't know. Yep. Thick with 3 C's.
Imagine if the chef comes down and just stacks it down the stairs. Oh, steak, all the sides go everywhere. I'd still eat him. I'd still eat him off the floor. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Goodness me. 75-ounce steak, 3 double sides, 1 hour, free meal, some vouchers, t-shirt, and a spot on that wall of fame at steak. Think I got it?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Thank you. Trust the bearded guy to show up.
3, 2,
Here we go.
I like the goal. The goal was very good. I don't suppose you have any sauce.
What sauce would you like?
Barbecue, maybe?
True.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, this is like a big eating challenge for him. This is just a normal lunch for all of us.
Is that red
Yes,
barbecue
Aurora,
sauce?
we know.
You're right, you're advertising a different restaurant there. I'll dip this in the creamy mushroom sauce, actually.
You got meat smash?
Yeah, and I've only had a double burger.
Dude,
He's got it.
I'm sorry. This dude looks like... It's so funny to, like, see this guy and then hear a British accent out of him. Like, how trippy is that? Like, you expect him to be like, I only had a double burger.
Yeah, and I've only had a double burger.
Ziggy's got it.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Deal now.
Yeah?
Meat sweats!
You can do it.
The combination of the barbecue sauce and the creamy mushroom sauce is actually working quite well so far.
What's the tactic?
So when I had, like, a much longer beard, I picked up, like, my beard cleaning tricks from watching this guy. He had a thing I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Just, like, you know, haphazardly go with the napkin or whatever. No, that's not what you do. Take a napkin, you go like this, and that cleans it up real fast. I learned from the best, from this man
Here with the...
right here.
Like, what's going on?
There are no tactics. What are you talking about? The key with the steak challenge is to always be busy, especially when it's a steak this big. If you're not cutting the meat up as you chew, something's going wrong.
Oh, I guess you can
School
call him
day.
Daddy.
I have only seen one person attempt it myself, and they only got halfway through. They quit after about 38 minutes.
No!
Yeah, they just
Jeez.
couldn't do it anymore.
Cameraman, I've just noticed something. Neither of you are wearing your cowboy hats. Yeah. There you go. Get the Stetson on. Surprisingly, that suits you really well.
Maybe I could have made it in the cowboy era.
I think you need to wear that on every shoot now.
I know I gave it some grief at the start, but I'm quite thankful for the creamy sauce.
Oh my god, dude.
75 ounces. This feels bigger than that 100 ouncer I did in, where was it, Red Ruth or something?
Hello, darkness, my friend.
How's it taste, Adam?
It tastes very good. Feels like I'm on the high plains of the Texas Panhandle, sat on my cattle ranch, enjoying a nice, needlessly large steak dinner. It's good. It tastes good.
Very descriptive. Putting that English degree to use. You give it a go?
Not a chance. It looks like I would give it a go, but nah.
You've got the beard and everything. Do you want a job? Like?
But they're forever cleaning it. Yeah.
You could do a little temporary dye of the beard. Get him to sit over here.
What's the matter, honey? You barely touched your 6th side dish.
Maybe push the seat back a little. It's a 2-man job.
You put some pounds on since the last video.
It would take me a week to eat. I'm not even joking.
I'm not going to be far behind you.
Yeah, think about all the leftovers. If you weren't this guy, of
I've got a
course.
joke for you, mate.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Why do steaks make such good comedians?
Why do steaks make such good comedians?
Because the jokes are well done.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
It's rare you find a good joke in a steakhouse. Yeah, all right, we're done. Come on, George.
By the way, I shit you not, these are some of the best. This might sound like counterintuitive, but trust me when I say these eating challenges things are some of the best things to watch when you're like really hungry and then like start eating food. For some reason, it just pairs so well.
Disgusting. No, it is.
No, we're impressed. I can't imagine eating that steak and then moving on to the previous
Oh yeah,
ones.
don't remind me about that part. I'm just trying to focus on the steak for now.
Yeah, because he doesn't like mushrooms.
Why is it happening to me all the time lately? You know, he's done with the steak though. That's gonna count for like a small round of applause right now. Whenever I do a steak challenge, there's always an army of people in the comments saying, "Why did you get it well done?" But it actually does make it a little easier because it has less sinew in there. It's also a little bit more palatable for people to watch. I think some people just don't enjoy other people watching, other people eating rare steak, right? You can actually swallow chunks much more safely as well. I mean, I wouldn't recommend swallowing whole chunks of steak, but if you have to,
Jeez,
it gets a little chewy. You've got the option there. It's much more dangerous if it's rare. Alright. That's a steak. About done, I'd say, yeah?
Now he's to eat the 6 side dishes.
Chili cheese fries. That's a big portion.
Woo! My God. This is instead of eating food, the nothing burger experience. It's all a big nothing burger. He's just
You look like, is it Jesse off Toy
running
Story?
through it. Ah!
To be honest, I'm concentrating that much I forgot I had it up.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Where's it gone?
One of those sides is an entire meal. I like, it's insane what this man does. Oh, the one thing I hate is like he'll have like a cup of water, and because of like all the shit he's drinking is over the course of his like challenge and all the shit that gets stuck in his beard, the water will get like progressively more cloudy and it's just so gross looking.
I think we've reached that necessary juncture. Which
Diet
needs to
Coke?
order a fizzy beverage.
Yep.
I'm supposed to have a Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Yep.
Thank you
He
very
always gets a Diet Coke because it makes him burp.
much.
He's sweating.
I'm sweating profusely.
I know, ew, gross.
2 sides down, 4 remaining.
You got this, bro. You're almost there.
No ordinary person would order 6 sides. Come on now.
Well, you know, you got to keep on the diet.
Don't get any ideas.
You're almost there, buddy. You got this.
Time for the mushroom.
Just hold the nose and go for it.
He hates mushrooms.
Alright, fortunately, only you two are in the blast area, so
Oh no.
this comes back out.
I don't know, these behind you might be as well.
Oh.
Ha! The people behind you might be in the blast area. That's funny.
Never seen him grimace at anything except mushrooms. It's ridiculous.
I know. I love mushrooms too,
Even
but
Achilles had a heel.
Aurora doesn't like mushrooms either.
Yeah, except for the ones you cooked that one time.
She likes my mouth.
And the tea.
Oh. Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, this is Bibik's food, and that was Texas Rock's
Wow.
Giant Steak Challenge.
You get it. 1 second, get it. Sorry about that. What up, neighbor Rooney?
Thank you very much. Couldn't have done it without you. Go on then.
Ooh. Is this too loud? Am I too quiet? Oh, okay. This might be too loud.
You got cheesecake.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the cheesecake.
That's the cheesecake.
I would like 1 slice of cheesecake, please.
And you get dessert afterwards.
Short
Jesus
breath now.
Christ.
I have a slight problem.
Yeah.
He's had the last piece of cheesecake.
You scumbag.
Neighbor Rooney, let me just show you how this started. You see that empty plate? That's what we started with. All right, there's one more of these that looked really interesting that I want to watch. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, no way. But like, how dare you eat the last slice of cheesecake? True. But I saw the thumbnail and I was like, whoa. So another one of these, right?
Wow. Thank you so much.
What is up, Kilo Crew, and welcome to...
It's a tiny little girl! She's gonna eat all of it! Or at least try to.
today's video. Today, I am once again both nervous and super duper excited. I am about to take on Beefy Boy's Fat Boy.
True. Where is it?
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get out.
You can get out.
Platter challenge. So in front of me, I have a massive tray, which you can just order normally, but I've kind of upgraded
I know,
my
she
tray
does
a
look
little
good.
bit to have a little bit of fun with this.
That's the interesting thing is like most of the time when I see these like crazy competitive eaters, you would expect, everyone expects them to be like super ultra overweight, like fat motherfuckers. And like a lot of times they actually are like either like pretty thin or like really in shape. Some of them are big people, but like it's pretty surprising.
Challenge. In front of me, I have 2 of their amazing looking burgers. I went with one of their Oklahoma onion burgers, which looks fantastic. It's got like a smash patty with onions,
that
and
all
it's
looks
fried in
delicious.
mustard. It sounds wonderful.
All of those things look so delicious. I would get like halfway through a burger and some of the fries before I like, nope, box it up.
I also have one of their Dirty Boy burgers, which I'll go into details on that in the voiceover. I also had to choose 2 different loaded fries. I went with some poutine
I don't know
fries,
either,
or
dude.
poutine, depending on where you're from,
burger and the
fries,
fries
and then their
shape.
Kiev fries. So I might have shot myself in the foot on the Kiev fries because they're topped with a bunch
Maybe
of
not all.
tenders, which I might add. I also
Yeah.
have to finish 3
They
garlic
work out a
parmesan
lot.
tenders as my
Like,
chosen sauce.
like the last dude we watched, like, I've seen him like show off his muscles and shit in like one of his videos, and it's fucking crazy. Dude. He's
And then
jacked.
6 of their, I think I went with their ninja wings. Which
Oh,
I think is
no.
gonna be like a teriyaki sort of Asian vibe. I also have 10 of their mega mac and cheese balls, and then a big old pile of their coleslaw. Once again, 30 minutes to finish everything on this tray in order to win my meal for free, a groovy and pretty funny mug, and a spot up on the Wall of Fame here at the Bath location of the Beefy Boys. There are several around the UK. I'm really jazzed for this.
That's so
I
much.
also
Yeah,
have
the wings look
myself one of
spicy.
my cheat codes on the side. This is their salted caramel shake. It
That
is
does
not
look really
required,
tasty.
But I'm hopefully going to be enjoying that along with all of this very salty food. But without further delay.
What game is this? Also, what up, Scarecrow? Or the one I'm the one I'm playing here. This is High on Life 2. But we're taking a little, you know, pause to watch some fun stuff. I was in a meeting with you. Yeah, no worries. I can't even imagine. Oh no, yeah, for sure. Like my stomach would fucking split apart. I don't know if it's about appeal. I think it's more like being an athlete, you know? I think it's more of like that sort of thing. It's competitive. An hour, I don't think I could. Because if you go over an hour, that shit's settling in your stomach. You're getting more full the longer you wait. You kind of have to speed eat with shit like this.
Let's pull our hair back and get this challenge started. I studied that menu for at least 12 minutes to get that right.
That's
30
how the
minutes
best
is a
things
very quick
start.
time limit though, so I am not going to be
She is
doing
so
a
jacked.
whole ton of talking, but I will quickly tell you that this place has a really cool vibe inside, lots of cool decor. Looks like a pretty fun spot to grab a brewski and a burger, but without further delay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. It is burger eating time. Let's go. Start with the Dirty Boy. Oh, yeah.
She's just going for it.
As promised, I will give you the details on said Dirty Boy. This one was slathered in dirty mayo, onions, and bacon, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And obviously cheese.
Apparently these guys...
Oh no, not fucking hippie Barbie or whatever. Ugh, I can't stand her. Biological and agricultural engineering is all one department at the University of Arkansas. It means every time I walk past their lounge, I see women who look like this next to men who look like that. Ugh, I can't stand her. Wayne is the fucking king. Wayne is the king. Uncomfortably Jack, TBH. The same guys that think she's a baddie hate trans women for being too masculine. Oh, I don't know. She looks attractive to me. The heart is a muscle and all the cholesterol is just more weight for me to lift.
They're voted one of the best burgers in the UK. I can see why. Wow.
And the setup here was pretty
Games,
darn
bro.
cool. You can watch all the chefs doing their chefy things in the back. It's right through like a window. You can watch what they're doing. It's really rad in this place.
Why the fuck are y'all clapping? She ate one burger off the whole tray. Calm down. What the fuck? I'd be like, what are you clapping for?
Now on to the Oklahoma onion and mustard burger.
This sexy sauce.
That is killer.
Yeah, this one really took me by surprise. I had had a burger that was cooked in mustard in the past, and I absolutely loved it. So I wanted to give it a try with
she's
this
doubling up,
challenge, and I
throwing the
was
coleslaw
not at
on
all
there.
disappointed.
That's smart.
All right, the scary part is down. Well, the second scariest part. The scariest part is these fries. Here we go.
I realize
Yeah.
that my camera angle here doesn't.
I
do
get
the
that,
sheer
dude. Like, going through, like, a whole bunch of fries is a lot. Because you have to drink stuff for it, too. Because, like, those potatoes, man, doesn't matter. Like, they're going to be dry. Food influencers going to the UK for the food. It's literally all American-themed restaurants.
amount of fries very much justice, but let me assure you, there was quite the mountain beneath all this food.
Have a sip of shake for the reward. Again, this is not required.
I want an authentic. Well, the first dude.
Yep.
Keep in mind, the first dude is from England, so he was going to. He like drove to that place.
Okay. Garlic parm tenders are next.
Wow.
I'm not the most eloquent human ever, but these tenders were crunchy on the outside, melt in your mouth.
She looked
on the
like she's
inside.
used
It
to
was
this.
like
I
you
think she's
barely
law
had to chew
enforcement.
them. These were exquisite.
All right. Required tenders are kind of gone. I now have a bunch left on these Kiev fries. So let's continue to crush some of these tenders.
Yeah, so these Kiev fries weren't my best strategic decision, but it was certainly a delicious one. They also had pastrami fries as an option, which I really strongly considered, but I worried that the fresh smoked pastrami would get a little
Tendies.
strong after a while. I'm actually really happy I went with the tenders simply because they were so melt in your mouth, yummy, and easy to get down.
All right. Let's finish some protein and get on these ninja wings.
You see the
And
toll this is
just like
taking
the
on
tenders,
her right now.
I'm trying not to rant and rave too much, but just like the tenders, these wings were melt in your mouth. They felt right.
See, that would really frustrate me with like a big eating challenge, having to work around the fucking bones. Look at that chick who calls the cops on me on the first date because I support legalization there.
Right off the bone. These were perfect wings at a burger joint.
Well, those have a kick to them. I should have known from the peppers. Woo.
Now,
Yeah,
y'all know I'm a
oof.
bit of a wuss when it comes to heat during challenges, but these were the right amount of heat. It wasn't too much to just knock me flat on my tushy, but they were delicious. They delivered a good amount of flavor,
Tushy.
and if you're a spice head, you'd love them.
All right, wings are down. Let's try some of these monster mac and cheese bites.
Those are probably really good.
Crispy.
I love me some fried mac and cheese balls.
I have no idea what the sauce is, but it's very good as well.
I think I have a revelation a bit later on about what this sauce is, but I'll fill you in now. It was honey mustard mayo, so not necessarily the lowest fat option I could have picked, but it was certainly wonderful. Honey mustard and mayo
Dude, I don't think you need to worry too. I mean, like, you look like you work out a lot. I think you're
is a
fine.
killer combo.
Too easy.
I don't know about that. Those were phenomenal. Once again, little reward sip. All right, let's get it on the poutine fries.
Poutine, it's the extra calories.
That's good gravy.
Yeah.
Now, these
okay.
fries were my strategic pick. I figured that the gravy would
Okay.
soften up the fries quite a bit and make them really fast to go down, and I was right. And bonus, they were
Damn!
I actually love that there's a little bit of sauce left from my wings. I'm dipping the fries
She's
in it, and
smashing
it's
it.
fantastic.
And I'd say from here on out, it's pretty self-explanatory. Some fries,
Yeah.
some slaw left, and a little shake, and it was phenomenal. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll of course catch y'all in the next one.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
That's
the shake dip.
Alright, I'm tired of these fucking idiots in the restaurant. Every time she does everything. So stupid.
It is called the Fat Boy Platter.
Like, wait till she finishes.
Fun fact, you can
Yup.
make any shake here boozy. I should have done that. That would have been extra fun.
Have you tried not being a grumpy old man? No! I was born that way.
That might have been some of the more enjoyable fries of a massive mound of fries I've ever had. Those were fantastic.
She ready?
Now we're going for the coleslaw.
She's like,
Is that
she's
like
like,
the house record?
it's like the equivalent of someone's like you know they're near the finish line, they're not yet there, and they're like let her finish and then clap.
House record is the house record? Oh. Okay. It's okay. Why don't you boom?
You don't need one for
Thank you.
Will Smith or something?
Oh, sure. Apparently the record is 1834.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Hey!
Ugh.
That's a man burp. 1834. You better hurry up. She got this. Hurry! Beat the record!
Very good coleslaw. And it takes a lot for me to say that. It takes a lot for me to not gag while eating coleslaw, so this is fantastic.
Bro, you're near the record. What are you wasting time talking for? Go! Neighbor Rooney. Go, 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 go! See? If she hadn't stopped to fucking talk about the coleslaw, she would have beat the record.
Final bite. I'll try to leave no doubt.
No, it's coleslaw, yeah.
The record is come and gone. Let's finish the shake and the time limit as well. That was fantastic.
Look at me sitting here critiquing, like, why are you talking? Finish it, as somebody who could never have eaten, like, even a quarter of that.
And that's all she wrote, folks.
Wow. No! Now we clap, okay? No. Oh my god.
I tell you what, I'm gonna admit something
Son of a bitch.
to you. On my way here, or I should say while I was exploring Bath, there was so much good food around that I was angry I had to do a challenge this evening. After eating this, no longer angry. Super thankful I had a challenge this evening. The Beefy Boys absolutely smashed that. My final time was 19 minutes and 34 seconds to finish all of that wonderful food with some upgrades in there as well. And of course the delicious milkshake that I'm really happy I had. That went great with the fries. But thankfully for winning today, I do get my meal for free, which again, you can come in and order that exact same platter for yourself and some friends, and a groovy mug and a spot up on the wall of fame. You guys, parents at home, hide your kids. Hide your kids. I'm not kidding. I warn you. 3, 2, 1. Awesome mug.
Nice.
It says, I am a fat B-word.
Nice. I'm a fat boy.
If you happen to be one of the men folk, you can get one that says, I'm a fat boy. But I am super happy to be a lady in this instance. Because
Wait, what if you should get one that said, I'm a fat fuck, and then it's for both. You feel like shit for the rest of the day for free. True. Infinite free food hack.
This is so much better.
Yeah, but like, you gotta be good.
Better. But anyways, a huge thank you again to the Baby Boys, a huge thank you to everyone here for cheering me on. That was wonderful. Now I might go get me a shake and upgrade it to a boozy one. Until then, okay, peace out, bye!
Now she's gonna get a shake and get fucking drunk. Alright, let's watch some things.
This is very, very interesting. It seems increasingly like Marco Rubio, not JD Vance, is potentially going to be the heir to the MAGA throne. Now, I've already told you how Donald Trump's lack of confidence in who the heir should be is already notable. Normally, Trump is like, this is what it is, and I'm the best person at hiring and choosing people. Trump has been going around kind of going back and forth. JD's good, Marco's getting great marks and all of this different stuff. If you go back a year,
no barcode? Because the last thing I saw, they just wheeled it out back to the launch pad. Also, what up, barcode? Your advantage isn't fit for a throne, he can go sit on the couch. Starship may chauffeur Orion to the moon. NASA moles ditching SLS after Artemis 5. Oh, after Artemis 5. Oh, okay. If it's ready, yeah. I mean, if it's better, if it's cheaper, if it makes more sense, that's fine. That's fucking awesome. I'm definitely gonna stream the launch, by the way, and like just cover the mission as things happen. Because I want to follow it big time. So whatever time it's gonna be, I'll be streaming them. I'll probably be streaming like their arrival to the moon, their like, you know, the different stages like TLI, their, you know, orbit burn when they get there. Really excited. April 1st or 2nd. Yep. Well, I hope it's the 1st then, because I'm getting coffee with Tiny on April 2nd.
Year ago, the assumption, the conventional wisdom, was that Trump's successor was going to be J.D. Vance. He's young, he's loyal, he's backed by Trump's family. Trump's sons love J.D. Vance. He's plugged into the donor network. There could be this clean handoff of MAGA from Trump to J.D. Vance, and
Indeed,
that's it.
cryptic.
That has completely slipped over the last 3 months. And what is fascinating is that there is now reporting that behind the scenes, Republican donors are talking about, we want Rubio. We want to start making the donations, making the money flow point away from J.D. Vance and towards Marco Rubio for 2028. They're not waiting to see if Trump gives the green light. They don't seem to care what Trump is ultimately going to decide. They are just saying, this is what we need to do. After 26, we're going for Rubio. They are preparing for a future where Trump simply doesn't get the final say. Now, you might remember in my interview with Gov Gav, a.k.a. Governor Gavin Newsom, a.k.a. Newscum, nasty guy.
Newsom, Governor Newsom.
Do you even think Trump will be in a position to pick his successor by the time it's all said and done? And Newsom said it's not clear that he will.
Nope. It's going to be me, my dad, and Destiny.
Because he is so increasingly diminished. I think Trump senses this. And Trump is not announcing a successor. He's going around asking people what he should do, which is not a sign of confidence.
Yeah,
but at
I'm
the
really
same
excited,
time,
actually.
The donor base seems to be...
My dad's working to give Tiny like a cameo in one of his movies. And, you know, we're hoping while we chat and everything, to know each other, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we see if there's a way for me to like show up on the stream or like host me or I don't know, whatever, or just make a connection and build on that or something. I don't know.
Moving clearly and decidedly in the direction of Marco Rubio. Now, Vance is a disaster. Marco Rubio is far more capable. I'm not saying I like Rubio.
I don't know how much, I mean, we're getting coffee. I don't know how much time we'll have to like get into deep debates. And they're probably going to spend most of the time talking about the movie. So I'll try to like, you know, at some point get something in there, but we'll see.
We're comparing these two people. Vance couldn't be less charismatic. He's just terrible. He's so
You guys are my OGs. Don't even worry about it. Don't even trip, Don. Is it a documentary? No. I mean, like, I can't talk much about it, but essentially he would be in like a montage of like news related people and internet people or whatever, like talking and debating about things to like catch the audience up on certain shit.
Likeable. He's part of this Peter Thiel kind of allegiance, which I don't really know that that's what Republicans want either. And the donors see that Rubio's profile is rising. Rubio's competent. Rubio doesn't embarrass himself when speaking to dignitaries from other countries. He says things like...
Tiny's already read the script. He likes it.
Completely disagree with, obviously. He embarrasses himself regularly trying to defend Trump. But in this way that is sort of more narrowly focused, Rubio seems to be the one that is a calming presence to those concerned about the future of the Republican Party. So the structure around Trump, then Vance, is getting very, very loose. Now, I think the Iran situation has made this way clearer. Rubio was next to Trump, very visible, shaping the messaging. Messaging, I think, is terrible and wrong. And Vance kind of faded into the background. Where is J.D. Vance on Iran? He's been, just yesterday we covered that they sent J.D. to a factory in Michigan to
It's like
speak
an
to no
indie
one.
director.
30 people
producer,
in the crowd
not director,
silent
indie
as
producer.
JD spoke. And Marco Rubio, as Secretary of State, is highly involved. So that sticks in the
Aldiba.
ecosystem of Trump.
Ah.
And I believe that once it sticks, it spreads. So the early stages of a power shift look exactly like this. It's not super loud. It's not even really feeling coordinated, but it's just the sense that JD's kind of floating more into the background and Marco Rubio's coming to the forefront. And the donors seem to care. The donors seem to proactively be thinking, Rubio is
It
the better
depends.
future of the.
I mean, it depends on what kind of platform he's running on, right? Then we'll see, like, is he really, like, still Marco, or is he gonna go MAGA?
The party than JD Vance. Now, if Republicans don't do well in the midterms, which seems likely, overnight Trump's even weaker. His endorsements will matter even less if Republicans get crushed in November. The donors will get even more leverage. And at that point, it will be they, not Trump, who get to decide about the heir to the MAGA throne. So I think that this is absolutely fascinating. We often get into this thing of who's the worst candidate if they become president, but who is more likely to win in a general election. It's so early, I couldn't even begin to deal with that. But where we need to focus right now is make 26 as bad as possible for Republicans, see how that affects donors, and this could sideline Trump in his own administration, which would be a delight. Trump needs control over the base. That's what authoritarians need, desire, and seek. If Trump loses control over the base, loses control of the narrative, loses control over whose stock is higher or lower within the party, you are going to see a very angry Trump sidelined,
Vance isn't happy
and
about the Obama
donors
way,
pushing
MSNBC
for what
behind the scenes.
they
That's
want.
what I'm hearing. That's what
Ultimately, what we
seems to
care
be
about
saying.
is defeating all of these people. But the fact that Trump is so diminished and growing more diminished in his power within the party every single week that this goes on, it's a pretty interesting thing to see. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos.
We end the day with some major breaking news, and unfortunately, it's quite catastrophic. Donald Trump is personally and single-handedly triggering an economic and market collapse, a total crash because of his disastrous war with Iran, and specifically news that the Pentagon is preparing to send boots on the ground to deploy American troops.
Oh,
We're talking about inflation
So that just
skyrocketing, the
happened.
stock market plummeting, and so much more. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go.
We should be focusing on the Dow being over 50,000. 50,000, Pam Bondi was very insistent about. Yikes.
All right, folks, I want to give you a smattering of the facts as we have
Breaking,
them. Okay,
the
so
world
CNN
economy.
reports stocks, bonds, and gold slump while Iran war rages. U.S. stocks and bonds fell, oil prices rose, and gold had its worst week in 4 decades as the Iran war
How can you be talking about Iran when there's 50,000 Dow going on right now?
continues to ripple through financial markets. The Russell 2000, an index of smaller companies more sensitive to interest rates, was down 2.7% Friday and set close to correction territory. A correction is a Wall Street term for when a stock or index falls 10% or more from its recent peak. The Dow fell 444 points, the S&P fell 1.51%, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ slumped more than 2%. The Wall Street's fear gauge, the VIX, surged 15%. The NASDAQ during trading dipped close into correction territory before paring some losses into the closing bell. The NASDAQ is down 9.65% from its peak in late October, putting the index on the verge of a correction. The Dow is down roughly 9.2% from its peak on February 10th. The war with Iran is sending energy prices soaring, raising concerns about inflation and complicating the outlook for central banks across the globe. And when I tell you that they're raising concerns about inflation, you'll see in
U.S. lifts sanctions on some Iranian oil as gas prices soar. It's all going to plan. Internal United Airlines memo leaked, and the CEO is preparing for $175 oil. Yeah, I heard somebody say, like, oil at one point, oil could go as high as 200, and I thought at the time, man, that's got to be hyperbole, right? I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy. Notice how quiet MAGA retards online have been about gas prices lately, by the way.
Just a second. It's a holy shit number. Uncertainty about the duration of the conflict and the prospect of higher for longer interest rates to combat inflation are dimming the outlook for stocks. U.S. Treasury yields jumped Friday as investors sold bonds and recalibrated expectation for inflation.
I ran your
The 10-year
gas
yield, which
prices
influences
up.
mortgage rates, jumped to 4.39%, the highest level since July. Stocks took a step lower Friday afternoon after CBS reported the Trump administration is making preparations for a potential deployment of U.S. troops to Iran. Brent crude, the global oil benchmark, rose 3.26% Friday to settle at $112.19 per barrel.
I did that Trump signature to start slapping them on gas pumps. I did that.
Highest settle so far during the war and its highest closing price since July 2022 during the
That would be
height
fun.
of Russia's war in Ukraine. Quote, the stock market remains in negative territory for the year and has made new 2026 lows this week, which suggests that the market may not have yet found its bottom and is still in the process of sorting out and pricing in the duration of the Middle East conflict and oil price outlook, said David Lout, Chief Investment Officer at Carrick's Financial, in an email. Investing.com, NASDAQ slides 2%, S&P posts 4-week-long losing streak as Iran conflicts escalate. U.S. stocks cratered on Friday, slumping to a 4-week losing streak as sentiment continues to be...
Oh, yeah. Chuck Norris. U.S. hasn't purchased oil from Iran in 30 years. Now that we're at war with them, we're going to give them $14 billion. The deal maker.
And it's very cool. Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Wow.
Think Joe Biden would do this? I don't think so. Do you think he'd think of it? Do you think he knows what it is?
Oh, no.
No, but
There's no way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god, dude, you're retarded. You're retarded. It's not fucking magic, dude. It's not fucking magic. We understand why it went up under Biden. There's a huge fucking difference here. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Bro, it went up under Biden because of post-COVID recovery, because all the shit opened all at the same time, and there were these backlogs of like the transport and the reserves and all that stuff, and they weren't taking out as much because the demand wasn't as high, and then suddenly demand shot up all at once. And that made prices go up. In this case, it's because this fucking retard just decided to start a war with one of the world's biggest oil producers without a plan on how to handle it. Your fucking sentence is just pure retardation. ARPA money too, to be fair. Oh, this is the best. Let's see. Is he going to argue with Grok? Is he going to argue with Grok? Yeah, I love it. I love it when that happens. Oh my god, I love it. He's like, you're not going to like the answer. And then Grok was like, you're retarded. Oh, man. That's so funny. That's so funny. Grok versus MAGA is one of my favorite accounts, by the way.
Battered by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Wall Street ended lower after a report that the U.S. is preparing to
Uploads
potentially
a
deploy
huge
ground
waste.
troops in Iran. Oil prices
Used it
gained
for things like improving ventilation in schools, but it went to like sports stadiums and shit. I need to do a deep dive into how the money was appropriated, maybe, because I'm sure it's not. I'm sure the story isn't that cut and dry. But I bet it did. Some of it did go into shit like that too.
after the report, hovering at their highest levels in over 3.5 years. So let's dive into some of this. Mike Dorning, who
all of it. Most American Rescue Plan funds, specifically $350 billion coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, were primarily used by state, local, and tribal governments for public health measures, revenue replacement, infrastructure projects, water, sewer, broadband, and premium pay for essential workers. You sure about that? The largest portion of ARPA was used for more than 170 million economic impact payments, stimulus checks totaling over 400 billion. State and local fiscal recovery was 350 billion. Maintaining government operations and services about 46%, 37% respectively. Revenue replacement, lost tax revenue, allowing them to avoid budget cuts and layoffs. Public safety, significant portion of government services spending flowed to police departments, corrections, and courts. Education Stabilization Fund, 123 billion. These funds were dedicated to helping K through 12 schools safely reopen, addressing learning loss and upgrading school technology. Tax credit expansions, 92 billion. Over 92 billion was sent to roughly 36 million families through the expanded child tax credit. Public health response, tens of billions were spent on COVID-19 testing. Then secondary and infrastructure investments. Housing and rental assistance, billions were used for emergency rental assistance and homeowner assistance funds to prevent evictions and foreclosures. Infrastructure notable slices were dedicated to long-term assets like water and sewer systems and broadband expansion, 8.5 billion. Small business support, over 10 billion went to the state small business credit initiative to provide credit and capital to struggling entrepreneurs. Public transit, 30.5 billion dedicated federal funding to support nation's transit systems during ridership declines. Let's see. What I'm seeing here, so the whole thing was 1.9 trillion. 350 billion was for state and local fiscal recovery funds, so that was for like the public works stuff. Only approximately 80 million from SLFRF has been approved for projects related to sports stadiums nationwide. Other controversial spending: prisons and jails. Alabama allocated roughly 400 million to build 2 new prisons, while Arizona used 4.2 million for departments of corrections staff offices. Luxury and recreation, over 185 million went to projects related to golf courses, including irrigation systems and new golf carts. More than 400 million was spent on improving swimming pools. 15 million was used in one town to install commercial kitchen and showers for a site hosting a circus and flea market. Tourism and travel funding was used for high-end hotel stays. 86,000 at Caesar's Palace, and tourism marketing studies that some argue did not directly aid public health. Yeah, that's waste, but it's like, And I agree, we probably shouldn't have that, but it looks to be very, very small percentage of the money comparatively. Like, if you put it all together, let's see. So around like 1.1, 1.2 billion out of $1.9 trillion. It's waste, and I agree, it probably shouldn't be done, but like, it doesn't seem like the entire program was shit if it's that small of a percentage was spent wastefully.
Who's a finance guy on Twitter, says investors are now betting overall U.S. inflation over the next 12 months will surge above 5%. Implied inflation rate from 1 year break even per Bloomberg. So look at this. They are celebrating and betting that inflation will be above 5% because of Trump's war. Matt Iglesias, kind of a centrist Democratic political commentator, says there's been a huge influx of affordability jargon, but number one, we had a bunch of inflation. Number two, Trump promised the price level would fall. Number three, the rate of increase never even fell back to the target level. And number four, now it's
caveat, neighbor Rooney. That was AI that gave me that answer, so those figures could be wrong. Well, how so? I mean, like, where do you think? Because if we're looking at out of 1.9 trillion, like the stuff we see there that the AI gathered for me to say was controversial or wasteful spending, so around 1.1, 1.2 billion. That's a really small percentage, whereas the rest would not be deemed necessarily wasteful spending. Or were there certain things that you would say that were wasteful spending that were not classified as wasteful spending that you might consider wasteful spending? I don't know. Help me understand your position on it a little better.
Reaccelerating. So Trump made promises he had apparently no ability or no interest in keeping, and that's also exacerbating issues. Speaking of Trump, former top Trump advisor Anthony Scaramucci says this: the fallout from the Iran war will likely force the Fed to now aggressively raise rates.
If you get around to it at some point, feel free to bring it up again at any time, but I'm always down to talk it out.
When before the war, it was on a path to aggressively cut rates. 4D chess, he said mockingly. So remember, the Federal Reserve since 2024, late 2024, has been cutting interest rates slowly but surely. Sometimes it's had to pause the cuts because of Trump's disastrous tariffs, another policy that Trump single-handedly implemented, which caused inflation to rise and the labor market and the economy to shrink. And the Fed has to balance those two priorities. They have to raise or lower interest rates to combat inflation, and also to keep in mind the labor market and economic growth, right? Those are the dual mandates of the Federal Reserve. Well, during their last meeting, I think it was 2 days ago, it was yesterday or the day before, Jerome Powell said that, okay, well, because we're in stagflation territory where inflation is increasing because of Trump and the labor market is suffering because of Trump and we're seeing economic shrinkage rather than growth, we're not going to raise the interest rates or lower them. We're just going to stay in a holding pattern. Now, Anthony Scaramucci, who has a background in finance, he's a major businessman.
But we learned so much that aerosols are the primary driver of most respiratory illnesses, and ventilation massively cuts down on aerosol transmission of disease. I agree. So you're saying that there should have been more money spent on like general infrastructure projects vis-a-vis improving ventilation and making it safer for public areas. I mean, if we looked at the figures and showed that wasn't like a widespread thing, I'd probably agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that, if that's true. Jerome Powell raising interest rates. The interest rates will keep increasing until morale improves. I thought they kept them steady. Instead of golf courses and hotels and bullshit. I agree, although I don't know if those were the same pools. They might have been from the same. They probably were, actually. So their infrastructure, they're probably the same pools of funds. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Job creation in the U.S. is slow to essentially zero. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Wednesday. Yep. They're not zero. We're losing jobs. We lost jobs last year. Yeah, I think they held the interest rate steady. Yeah, they held them steady. My city just spent the last of their ARPA money on free motion-activated porch lights for anyone who wants them. What the fuck is that? That's stupid.
He says he thinks, as a former Trump advisor, that the Federal Reserve will now not just pause interest rate cuts, but will actually reverse them, will actually raise interest rates, which will increase your mortgage, which will increase your car loan, basically the amount of money it takes to borrow money to pay for things, right? This is terrible, terrible, and especially politically damaging for Trump as we head into an election year. Anthony Kobasi says in a sudden turn of events, the U.S. 12-month inflation expectations have surged to 5.2%, the highest level since March 2023. In just 3 weeks, markets have gone from pricing in rate cuts to rate hikes. They believe the Federal Reserve will hike interest rates.
Yeah.
Another Twitter user points out, incredible
Probably
how thoroughly
soon.
and quickly Trump managed to destroy the best economy on earth. And he said that in response to home sellers now exceed buyers by over
What up, yeah, yeah?
600,000, marking the widest gap on record per Redfin. It is staggering. Patrick DeHaan, the gas buddy guy, he also has bad news for Trump. So I want to refresh the page. This is a guy who just exhaustively analyzes, and talks about the rate of gas. So this is from 30 minutes ago. From touting $1.85 gas.
Oh, Chicago. Oh. I was like, what is that?
$1.85 gas just weeks ago to now seeing $150 per barrel crude, some blends. The narrative shift is doing a lot of work here because Trump says, I expected more. Pretty bad. Heads up, Midwest and Plain states, your gas prices could again jump, cycling states especially, 15 to 40 cents per gallon from their last cycle amount very soon. The national average price of gasoline stands at $3.93 per gallon. This is from 8 hours ago today. Now up 99 cents per gallon from a month ago, with diesel at $5.16 per gallon, up $1.47 a gallon from a month ago. Combining spending on gasoline and diesel, America.
This is all of them. All of them are having this same stupid argument. Back during Biden, you said presidents didn't control the gas prices, so now they do? Bro, first of all, this is a defensive argument. You're already on the back foot. The fact that you're whataboutisming about Biden is already not a good look for you. You're essentially conceding the argument right there with that point. Second of all, on its face, you're ignoring all of the exigent circumstances that are surrounding the reasons why gas was high under Biden versus the reasons why gas is high under Trump. Under Biden, there were all of these other economic issues that raised gas prices. And it wasn't just here, right? It was around the world where nobody was doing the same policies as Biden post-COVID. Well, some of them were doing similar ones, but it wasn't like the same situation where everyone all over the world was doing the same economic moves that would have explained why everyone's gas prices were rising from a policy perspective. No, there was a huge issue with supply chains and everybody having demand for gas all at once post-COVID, during which there was very low demand for gas. With Trump, there's a very clear and obvious reason. Okay? The fact that you're saying, oh, he has no control over it, when it's like very clear what the reason is. It's like nobody serious disputes the reasons why gas prices are so high, and they are very specifically due to the actions of the United States and Trump in the Strait of Hormuz with Iran. Like you're living in a fucking dreamland. It's so clear what's happening here. Nobody's going to like look at this and think historically that there was any other reason than the war that's happening in Iran right now. Gas high under Biden after Russia attacked Ukraine. Gas high under Trump because he attacked Iran. What are you saying there, Cryptic? Because gas was high under Biden due to the shifting demand post-COVID. Post-pandemic demand surge, lagging supply recovery, Russia-Ukraine war, refinery constraints. So yeah, Russia-Ukraine war did add to it.
Americans are paying $575 million more every day compared to a month ago. Now, because MAGA is largely, not entirely, but
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the circumstances of the Russia-Ukraine war, but I believe the largest impactor was the huge, almost immediate shift in demand as the lockdowns eased.
Largely a cult. You have a bunch of dipshits
but yeah,
on there
I agree with what
really
you're
upset.
saying.
What about Biden? Biden. What about Biden? Gas prices hit $3.93 a day and climbing fast, but during Biden's term, Patrick DeHaan repeatedly said, COVID changed the game, not Biden, and a president don't control gas prices,
So
economic
dumb.
drive gas prices.
It's just
No
so
blame
dumb.
then for $5 peaks, but now suddenly a crisis worth highlighting. Data over politics, am I right? So Patrick had to point out, well, wait a minute. Did Biden invade Ukraine? Did Biden cause COVID? Let me guess. You'll answer yes to both. I haven't said anything about a crisis, but keep grasping to bend my words to fit your agenda. That's a really good point, which is, it is true that generally speaking, no president, Democrat or Republican, generally speaking, during the normal course of things, is single-handedly responsible for gas prices, nor do they control gas prices. Because listen, imagine if a president could just snap their fingers and lower gas prices, they'd all do it because it's politically beneficial.
Fucking
That's
duh.
how you know they don't control gas prices. But if you start a war, which is centered around the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil supply traverses, and it's choked off as a direct consequence of the war,
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, neighbor Ernie, but it was also sort of like, in an emergency, they had to distribute it quickly. So, you know, how much time could it take for them to do that? But yeah, you know. Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't have been fine without it. That's the thing. It's like there would been a lot of people who needed that. The 21 stimulus, yeah. Oh, as in you didn't. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I get you. Yeah. Yeah. Probably right.
and you alone started, then yes, you are responsible for the gas price increase. It's not just that it happened on your watch, it's directly because of you. Biden didn't invade Ukraine. Putin did. Did that cause gas prices to increase?
Yeah, no, I got train of thought did arrive at the station on that one. I caught up to what you were saying. And yeah, I think I agree. You know who could have really used those ARPA funds? Those kids that died in Texas in flood. Remember that? When the county in Texas refused to use ARPA funds to build a flood alert system? I do. And you remember how upset Republicans got when people pointed that out?
Yes. That wasn't Joe Biden's fault. If Putin had invaded Ukraine during...
To be fair, the way Tiny went about it was kind of crazy. But by being crazy, He did draw more attention to it. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Trump's term.
I wouldn't have done it that way, but that's me.
That wouldn't have been Trump's fault unless Trump, was actively involved in it. Same thing with COVID. Biden didn't cause COVID. Biden didn't sneeze high gas prices into existence. That's why.
Oh my God! So this guy who's making this argument, by the way, look at this. Working to keep the USA a constitutional republic. They love that, don't they? They love saying constitutional republic. Not a democracy. People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. How fucking ironic is a crazy MAGA Trump supporter saying that right now? How crazy is that? That wouldn't have been a good use of ARPA in my eyes, though. That's the whole problem with the local government. ARPA money should have been used for future pandemic mitigation only. Well, the thing is, though, that the lockdowns caused a lot of economic turmoil. There had to be money that went to, keeping the economy running in the meantime. There just had to be. Destiny is inevitable. Because so many things were shut down. If we just allowed those things to take those hits, we could have had a serious economic issue. And the World Bank sort of said as much afterwards.
Okay to not blame Biden for Russia's invasion of Ukraine and COVID, the things that triggered gas price changes, but it's okay to blame Trump for gas prices now. It's not just that it's happening on his watch. It is a direct 100% consequence of the war he started. That is his fault. Now, let's say that Trump...
Oh, right. I keep forgetting. The World Bank did identify ARPA as a major driver of the 2021 global economic rebound. I was right. That is the one that they were talking about. I remember. In its June 21 Global Economic Prospects report, the bank noted that substantial U.S. fiscal support, along with easing restrictions, powered an uneven recovery and helped propel global growth to 5.6%, its strongest post-recession pace in 80 years. I do remember that. So yeah, there could have been things that were better for sure. And hindsight is 2020. But it does appear that overall, the economic recovery was very much positively affected by ARPA. Kind of funny that Trump is so anti-EV and renewable energy, and then he goes and does a thing that will further push us in that direction.
Trump inherited Biden's... Let's say Biden declared war on Iran and gas prices skyrocketed. Let's take the exact same fact pattern, but replace the name Biden or Trump with Biden. Then yes, MAGA could correctly say, oh, gas prices are Joe Biden's fault. But Joe Biden didn't start a war with Iran. Joe Biden didn't attack Iran. Trump did. And because the attack on Iran is causing this, it is directly Donald Trump's fault. And if you don't understand that, you're a fucking idiot. But that's the reason why. So let's continue.
So you would have liked to have been pared back and more targeted. Yeah, okay. I don't think that's unfair. I think we could say that about a lot of big programs like this in general too. But as you correctly pointed out, hindsight is 2020.
To go, the same Phillip would have cost $43. Now it's costing $74.37. The economy will really start to feel this in about 2 weeks after Americans start to see the higher cost in their budget and out of their paycheck. And again, you have other MAGA people pointing this out as well.
I agree.
Well, what about Biden? What about Biden?
I also think, during that time, like I said, there was a sort of rush because of the sort of presence and feeling of an emergency, of a current economic emergency. And so there was that too, that sort of normally a bill like this would have taken a lot more time.
I don't remember you complaining about the economy under Biden. And so this guy has to point out, listen, When gas prices were high under Biden, I absolutely talked about it. Now, did I blame Biden for it? No, because Biden wasn't responsible. As he himself pointed out, President Biden approved 50% more oil permits during the first 3 years of Trump's administration. Like, Biden was oil friendly. It's actually another reason why many climate change activists were really upset with the Biden administration, even though, ironically, with the Inflation Reduction Act, Biden was also responsible for the biggest investment in green and renewable energy in the history of mankind. So,
the green new scam.
This idea that Biden somehow acted to raise gas prices is just bullshit. Trump has, on the other hand. So it's just atrocious. Crude oil prices, jet fuel prices, diesel prices, gas prices, fuel oil prices, naphtha prices in 3 major regional markets. It's not good. If the strait remains closed, oil prices are about to see some whiplash.
Would have made the supply chain issues way less.
All right, folks, this isn't good. Again, former MAGA Republican until quite recently, Evan Kilgore, very active on Twitter, says, breaking, national gas price average has reached almost $4. 1 month ago, it was less than $3. The average price per gallon has increased 98 cents in 1 month. It's increased 80 cents since last year. MAGA has been silent or telling us this is a good thing. So, yeah, this is a bad thing, and it's 100% Donald Trump's fault. The price of oil and gas is surging. Inflation is surging. Fed rates are likely to increase. They're likely to increase interest rates rather than cut interest rates. The stock market is crashing, and this is all because of Donald Trump. Terrible news, and I'm sorry to leave that for you with the weekend, but it's the truth, and we need to make sure that we assign the political blame where it belongs.
Damn right. Damn Esquipi.
Is it the job of the Director of National Intelligence to determine what is and what is not an imminent threat to the United States? She says no. Listen.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
It seems like a fair question to ask. I mean, is the president supposed to come up with this information about what's an imminent threat based off of just out of thin air, based off of his imagination?
No, what he feels in his minds.
Is it just me, or does it seem like she's passing the buck, actually? She's throwing Trump under the bus there.
What he feels in his gut, or is it her job to tell him, Mr. President, here are what the threats are, here are how urgent these threats are, okay? And
all right, I'm gonna pull that up in a second.
Urgent is another way of describing what imminent might mean.
Well, I would if I was one of them, barcode.
Is a type of urgency, right?
Yes.
And then the president decides what's actionable. So to Andrew McCabe's point, I mean, is it just that Trump just gets to decide based on his gut, that's a threat? In which case, what are we in a world of fact or in a world of feeling?
We're in a world of fact. I think Andrew McCabe's
Well, I don't know, because now, like we were talking about, it looks like Rubio might be the new heir to the Trump throne. And if he is, I don't think he's going anywhere, but we'll see.
Of her answer goes very far from what she actually said. The question of whether or not something is imminent to the point where you're going to order military strikes is separate, and is the sole decision maker there is the president. It's based on the intelligence that they're getting. And Tulsi Gabbard's point was, we present the probabilities of what is a potential threat, and the
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, because, like, I don't know if you saw that recent CNN poll that 100%, that Trump has 100% approval from people who self-identify as MAGA.
The president gets to decide with counsel whether or not he believes that it qualifies as imminent. To the point of what imminent means, it's not the same as what we all use this term. It started with the Bush Doctrine, and it expanded greatly under Obama, and they're basically arguing 3 main points, I think, for what imminent threat actually can be in this role. Whether or not you have a window of opportunity, and they had obviously a window of opportunity in this case. Most of the people in Iran leadership are no longer alive. The ability to go after someone who is in fact, or an organization, a regime, is a potential threat. Do they have the capabilities to threaten us. And the argument from the beginning wasn't solely about tomorrow they can have nuclear capabilities. It was whether or not they were going to have the ballistic missile coverage to ensure that they can, in fact, cover their nuclear capabilities.
Can I just say, we're talking about this is a lot of mission creep here, and also moving of the goalposts, because neither of those things that you pointed out deal with the imminence of the threat itself. Do they have the capabilities? That's
what imminence is in this context.
Let's talk about the main thing. Do they have the capabilities? Okay. Let me play what Tulsi Gabbard said about her written testimony on that front. Does Iran have the capability to rebuild its?
My impression of that 100% MAGA approval rating is simply that MAGA refuses to admit they got conned. Like, they clearly aren't happy about Trump going to war in the Middle East. They'll never openly admit it. Yeah, because it's a cult.
Nuclear program. Here's what she said.
In your printed testimony today on page 6, and your last paragraph on page 6, as a result of Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated. There's been no efforts to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. You omitted that paragraph from your oral opening. Was that because the president had said there was an imminent threat 2 weeks?
No, sir, I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the portions.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
That's true, Barclay.
Yes.
But I thought when they like look at the numbers of how many people identify as MAGA, there hasn't been like a really much of a decline in like that 30% of Republicans, or 30% of the electorate. Sorry, not 30%.
Okay, so it's as plain as day. They destroyed their nuclear capabilities last year. They told us it was obliterated. She just confirmed they had made no efforts to reconstitute that program. How is that not significant?
It is hugely significant, and for her to say that she skipped that part because she was running long, there were other parts she could have skipped. That is a very crucial part. Yeah, I'm a journalist and a former magazine editor. That's the lead. You lead with that. That's not what you leave out in the cutting room floor. So people are playing a little fast and loose here. That the fact that our own intelligence assessment said that the Iranians had indeed their nuclear program had indeed been obliterated, and that they were not rebuilding that capacity is crucial, because we started one of the crucial explanations from the Trump administration was that they were building back their nuclear threat, and that they were using their missile threat to protect their nuclear program. If the nuclear program doesn't exist, then this is a whole different argument. The administration has to present a very different case for the war, and they haven't done it.
Identifying Republicans as percentage of total Republicans across time. Yeah, my understanding is that has not changed much.
And when she, then why did Iran?
I fucking hate Scott Tim. He's a piece of shit.
That they had the capability to produce 11.
Did they?
Did they? But he's like a self-admitted grifter. Like, he's even said, like, I'm here playing a character.
Did they? They have not disputed the characterization.
Let me. That's a serious question. Did they say that or not? The only person who said that is one person, Steve Witkoff, who is not, by the way, in a Senate-confirmed position. He is not accountable to anyone but the president. The DNI was just there, okay? She never said that ever. And in fact, she said quite the opposite, that they had not rebuilt. They had not made any attempts to rebuild, that they were not in a position to have done it. So I think it's worth questioning.
Like, that's why I was looking, like, I feel like of the total electorate is sort of the more, wouldn't you think? Concentration could rise while the party shrinks. Exactly. This is why, if you look at the amount of MAGA within the total electorate, is what we look at. And my understanding is that number has not really declined much statistically.
Is that actually a true?
But I think there's also like a sunken cost fallacy. Like, I don't think we're gonna see that number decline, right? Like, because people have bought in so deeply that at this point, like, there's so much that they've like lost and hung on to, and like, staked themselves on, that like if they give up on them, you know, there's like that's like a huge chunk of their identity at this point.
Assessment of where Iran was as it relates to their nuclear capabilities.
Don't you think Iran would be walking back, saying, as hell rains upon their country?
I mean,
what's going on?
Wow. Yeah, it's grown. 25% among adults. %63% of Republicans. Yeah. It's not a huge jump, right? Because like, I feel like before it was like 60%, or is it 57%? Okay. That is statistically significant. But well, supporters. Well, 3% of voters who supported Kamala Harris said they were MAGA supporters. What? 22% of women. 27%, 65 and older. Young adults reported lower levels. From 11 in 2022 to 16% in May 2025. That seems way off. I thought it was bigger than that, but okay. Interesting.
On here, we
No,
they,
no, they've
they've done.
have done. They have done. They've said over and over again, we are not building nukes. We only have Steve Witkoff's word. And
Well,
by
why-
the way,
And they
by
were,
the way,
and they were
by
at
the
the
way,
negotiating table, they say.
threatening,
it is.
Making those kinds
Things
of
have
threats
changed
is
so
not
much since then.
atypical of a
It's
smaller power
crazy.
in a contest like this.
But do you believe them
you
when they
have
say
to-
that
you
they're
guys
not
let me-
pursuing?
let me just offer
But do you believe that?
Let me offer.
It's insane how people look so much younger nowadays, the older they get compared to the past, considering how much life it feels like we live in such a small amount of time nowadays. Like with the amount of things that happen now in such a short span of time, it feels like we all, like in our 30s, should look like we're like 80 years old. Steve Witkoff, when asked about Russia giving Iran intelligence to target U.S. forces, I can tell you that yesterday. Call with Trump. Russians said they've not been sharing. Witkoff said on CNBC. That's what they said, so we can take them at their word, but they did say that. Okay. It's because you are getting older. No! Like, people show, like, old pictures of, like, celebrities back in the day looking way older at, like, the same ages. Like, being 40 in the 80s or whatever. Right? Like this shit. Like, I am this age. Okay, well, Ted Danson looks better than I do, but that's Ted Danson. Norm, that's 34. He's a year younger than me. Okay? Wilford Brimley is like one of the most obvious cases. But that's because he had diabetes. It's just, it is different. Like, if you meet somebody who's 40, right? Or 50, like, you don't expect a 50-year-old to look like this nowadays. You just don't. Fuck you. I don't want to do that. No, I do. Like, I hang out with younger people on set all the time. Again, like, I look older than them. That's true. But, like, it used to be that when you were older, you looked a lot older than you do at the same age now. Oh, cryptic.
For this, we are talking about that we're talking
Maybe
about
it is.
Tulsi
I don't
Gabbard
know.
as if she was a normal and qualified DNI. It was reported just a few months ago that she was on very thin ice with Trump. That's probably why she showed up in costume in Fulton County, Georgia, to try to buy herself a few more months and curry his favor. I am willing to bet a pair of Florsheim shoes, as somebody that has known Marco Rubio my entire adult life, that there is no way that Tulsi Gabbard is trusted by Trump or his inner circle, or that she is part of any decision making. It is scary to me that at a moment when we are in war, the person who is the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, is this woman who is not trusted even by people inside the White House. This is the same woman who, before she was appointed to this role, had a website where she was literally selling T-shirts that read, "No war with Iran." So if you think she was part of this decision and is in a position to give intelligence.
The fashion of 30-year-old people in the 80s was the same fashion they had in the 2000s when they were 50. You had that style pegged at 50-somethings, not 30-somethings.
What's up, you sexy son of a gun?
What up, Scarecrow? Are you watching watching the stream?
I was actually just playing some Ark with Cinderella and a couple of buddies and stuff like that.
Nice.
But I'm back in. I'm back in now.
Cool. Yeah, we're watching some videos and chatting about stuff. We're arguing because I'm saying that older people used to look older in like the 80s and the 70s and stuff than they do now. Neighbor Rooney says I'm tripping.
I would argue that older people looked younger in like the 50s and 60s, like the Cary Grants or the it wasn't Patricia Arquette.
Right,
it was there was another Arquette in the 50s. Hold on. Actually, I think she was a Clooney. I think she was George Clooney's aunt, who looked way younger, even in her older age. But she was from like the 50s and the 40s, and she was like a fucking gem, bro. Rosemary. Oh, goddamn. I am seeing older pictures of her, and she might not have aged well. But
a 2018 study confirmed that more recent generations are biologically younger than their predecessors at the same age, with significant improvements noted in older adults. Key factors contributing to this trend include lifestyle changes, tweakments in beauty, greater access of use of anti-aging skincare, Botox, and other cosmetic procedures, fashion and styling, like Neighbor Rooney said, slower biological aging. The concept of 60 is the new 50 is backed by studies indicating that people are aging at a slower pace, social and cultural shifts. So it sounds like there's a mix. There actually is, but it was citing a real study.
Well, I wonder also how much of that is like caused from like Vietnam vets that came back with like Agent Orange and shit like that came back through these, you know, kind of not only neurological but like biological fucking weapons that were being caused in Vietnam. I think that we might be having cancer at ultimately a higher rate now than ever. And I think that probably came from like napalm and Agent Orange back in Vietnam, and it's just causing us to decay a little bit faster. Maybe I'm wrong.
Bro, Rooney, I have got the literal study pulled up. Rapidly increasing over the past 60 years because mortality schedules are often used to estimate the rate of aging. Researchers interpreted this change as slowing the pace of aging and an improvement in the overall health status of the population. Where life expectancy may not always be a reliable proxy for how fast the population is aging at the biological level. For instance, medical interventions aimed at disease treatment rather than prevention will not eliminate disease, may improve survival and physiological functioning of an individual. In such instances, the extra years of life gained will not be disease-free, and they may be characterized by improved physiology and therefore are probably reflective of improved health status. By age 65, remaining life expectancy for U.S. males is predicted to be approximately 17 years. However, only 8.1 of those years spent disease-free. Similar trends have been shown for U.S. women, 65 and 19.7 years, 11.3 much disease-free. It's just by phenomenal comparison. Okay. Slow rate of aging, slowing rate of aging, thus leading to compression of morbidity, of large economic implications. For more years chronologically and 50 years old biologically means aging at an accelerated rate. That was Neighboruni. That is one of the things they listed. Biological age measure used here has been shown to be a better predictor of all cause and disease-specific mortality when compared with chronological age. Environmental factors, notably evidence changes in smoking and obesity prevalence have not been equivalent across U.S. subpopulations. For instance, changes in health behaviors by sex in U.S. during the mid to late 20th century, smoking contributed to significantly more excess deaths for men than women. However, the prevalence of smoking among the sexes has started to equalize, and as a result, change in physiological aging can be attributed to smoking cessation should be greater for males. This is one explanation for the decrease in the longevity gender gap since 1980s, males gaining more additional years of life than females. Additionally, mean body mass index has increased faster for females than for males. BMI was higher for males during the latter half of the 20th century. However, between 94 and 99, the average BMI of females is estimated to have surpassed that of males. Use of pharmaceuticals to control blood pressure and cholesterol has also increased substantially over the past few decades. For instance, over the decade between 88 and 2000, both treatment and control of hypertension significantly increased among U.S. adults. Additionally, statin use to control high cholesterol increased by almost tenfold from approximately 2% to 25% among U.S. adults ages 45 and older. When used as primary or secondary prevention strategies, use of pharmaceuticals has the potential to attenuate some of the age-related decline in physiological functioning related to cardiovascular and metabolic health, perhaps even postpone death. Nevertheless, the use of such drugs has been more common among men than women. The number of Americans on hypertension medication grew between 88 and 91 and 99 and 2000, with most of the increase among males. Furthermore, among adults aged 65-74 in 05 to 08, approximately one-half of all U.S. men, but only one-third of all U.S. women, reported taking a statin drug the past month. Using nationally representative data, we aim to examine changes in biological age for the U.S. populations between 88 and 2010, and to estimate the contribution of changes in smoking, obesity, and medication use. Doing so will enable us to estimate whether the aging of the U.S. population is slowing, whether improvements are consistent across age and sex groups, and what proportion of improvements can be attributed to changes in health behaviors or their effects. Here I have a study in front of me saying people born after 1965 were 17% more likely to have accelerated aging than those born between 50 and 54. What does it attribute that to?
Just as a friend, I think that we have to look at certain things that were going on through those time frames, right? We had a lot of men coming back to the country after going to war. They were alcoholics, right? They were coming back home. They were drinking a lot of alcohol. They were using a lot of drugs, morphine, whatever the case may be. And the reality of the flip side of that, their wives were back at home using speed or dietary supplements to kind of motivate them to continue doing their life at home. So if we look at this one particular time in history, we can see two totally different patterns emerging here, from the husbands that were coming back from war that were using morphine or alcohol to support their PTSD. And then we had these wives that were ultimately sacrificed and had to sit here and raise the kids while their husbands were going into Vietnam, and they were using dietary supplements, they were using uppers, they were using stimulants to make sure that they can still. I think that that's what we're talking about. This is the time. This is the time where certain chemical imbalances came into place. I think it was during the Vietnam War and probably just after that, where we had women in this country that felt far too overwhelmed with the responsibility that they had to overcome in the country while their husbands were running away, fighting some bullshit ass war, and ultimately destroying their own mental health. So we have two separate like drug addictions in that.
Yeah, but
Maybe I'm wrong.
Neighbor Rooney, I think if we look at this all together, decreases in smoking rates, better access to pharmaceuticals for different medical and biological issues, better access to skin care, cosmetics, surgeries, things like that. I mean, even without a study, it would make sense that people look younger now. And then, of course, like you mentioned, fashion as well. It would make sense that people do look younger now than they did 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
I guess the only thing that I would contest to is decrease in smoking rates. We're seeing
that's the biggest one, it seems.
Influx. We're seeing a huge influx of people using Zins and pouch mouth tobacco now that used to be smokers or vapors, and now they're fucking shoving a pouch in their mouth. So maybe it does. Maybe the less inhalants that you take, maybe the better off you are cosmetically. But
well, Neighbor Rooney, I was never
what kind of damage are you doing when
I don't think I was ever
when you're popping us in every 10 minutes, you're destroying your jaw, Neighbor
Rooney, I don't think I ever really offered a reasoning as to why. I was just sort of remarking on it. That it seemed to be the case that people tend to look younger now. But yeah, I mean, I would expect it to be a solution with, or a reason with multiple sort of inputs, if you will. Anyway.
Briefings to Donald Trump. I have a bridge to sell you somewhere.
I think I think what is happening right now in our country
I would argue that quality
whether
of
you
life
voted for Donald Trump or not,
ultimately kind of fuels youth, though, as well. In countries that have a better quality of life, you are seeing a lower rate of aging physically, right? In the Netherlands right now, we're seeing people that live to be 110 years old. That's crazy. But they have a better quality of life. So they are not, I mean, I think stress and emotional failure is a huge flaw that has destroyed.
I don't know, Neighbor Rooney. I do feel like I remember people in their 40s and 50s looking older in the 90s than they do now. I feel like I do remember that, actually. Especially when you hit the 50s. I feel like the image I had of somebody in their 50s back during the 90s and early 2000s is way different from the image I have in my head of somebody in their 50s now. Well, I mean, I wasn't 5 for, I was only 5 halfway through the 90s. All right.
So for modern influx into this, when we look at somebody who's a little bit older, getting to the back end of his life, that is still one of the most handsome son of the bitches ever. I would argue John Hamm is a classically handsome guy.
I don't know if we can count celebrities, though, to be fair. Those are going to be outliers in general, right? Those are people who have access to the best stuff. That's kind of what we based our
own public
opinion on. I was pulling that up. Well, I think one of the things I do want to say you know, in on Neighbor Rooney's side of the argument is like back then, in like the 80s, for example, you didn't have the same like beauty standards for celebrities in a lot of ways that you do now, you know, and age beauty standards or whatever. Like it was in the 90s, especially in the late 90s with like heroin chic and all of that. It changed a lot. Trying to hold faces in my mind.
I don't know. I don't know if I
seem to
agree
hear
with
it.
you though
I
on
mean,
that, Jordan.
I feel like I
In the 80s
I feel like
and
I do,
90s,
but
I
we
think
can
that,
agree to disagree on this one, Neighbor Rooney. But
I think in the 80s and 90s there was more of a stigma against body shaming and like you know, obese shaming, and not even obese shaming, even like skinny
that's true.
shaming. People that were too skinny were looked at as being poor because they didn't have enough. That was the 80s and the 90s. You know what I
Like
mean?
the 1880s. They're
No,
poor
the
because they didn't.
1980s.
No. Being
You think
obese
people
probably
were?
wasn't good, and like I don't think people were chill on being super obese in the 80s.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of the point, right? There was a stigma behind that where it was like you make fun of fat women and you body shame
What up, David?
on lazy guys that are harboring a fucking beer gut. And like the 80s and the 90s, almost more body shaming than any other time in modern history, right? Like I think
You're right,
there's a
I don't know. My brain is all over about it. I don't have like a really clear thought process
I mean,
on it now. I feel gaslit.
I mean, my mom grew up in the 80s, and she's always been 6'1", and she's always been a little bit heavier, and she was like the female basketball player, but she was made fun of her entire life in the 80s for being too fat. And I don't think that that was the same thing that we went through in the 2000s, 2010s, when we loved the romp, when we loved My Hips Don't Lie from
Nah,
Shakira,
dude.
and we kind of
Nah.
actually
People were
affectionated
people
towards.
were assholes back in like the early 2000s and the 90s about being a fatty. They were not nice.
I don't think that it was worse than in the 80s, though. I think the 80s were way worse. I think it was like if you were even just somewhat chunky or somewhat curvy, you were looked at
Bring it back.
as a fat slob, you know. And I mean, that's how I see it. In my opinion, I think our generation was more like welcoming to like curvier women. Like we were the generation that made a BBW a fucking porn category. We were that generation, Jordan. We were
Well,
those
hang
guys.
on. Well, that's because we were the first generation to have internet porn.
That's yeah, okay. All right, I agree.
Yeah.
I do think that we started to like open up to people that I think that the dad bod
I'm
dads
gonna
that
Neighbor Rooney, I'm
they're
gonna
getting
keep that
fat.
tab open for when I shut off the YouTube side of the stream. Comedy stuff is crazy. Like I can't even do like a minute of comedy stuff without YouTube freaking out about it. So I'm gonna keep that tab up though, and we'll watch it a little later.
I guess my side of this is right now, in reality, right now where we're at, I am better off being a bald, bearded, dad-bodded man now than ever. There was never a woman that would look at me in the
Yeah.
90s and think that I was like a prime candidate to be a
Now,
husband, right?
now I'd say body acceptance is probably at its like best point for most people, right?
Well,
Unless
body
you're in like
acceptance
the
starts
red
with
pill,
women.
unless you're in like the red pill fucking circles.
But you know this just like me. Body acceptance starts with women. And I think that women's body acceptance started in the 2000s. And I think that's when we started loving our healthy women, quote unquote healthy women.
Yeah, Neighbor
I
Rooney,
think
but
that
I feel like that's more of a like a niche internet thing, right? From my point of view, the Jedi. God, that body positivity jubilee was so painful. I didn't see that. Is that? I don't know if I want to watch that. That sounds rough. Go ahead, Scarecrow. Sorry. And then
I'm not
after
even
this
trying.
comment, I want to go back into
I think a
video
lot
we
of
were
this
watching.
is from personal experience. Like I was raised with a mom. I was a single son, an only son of a mom who was a single mom, and she was highly, highly against her own body mass index. Like she hated herself. Like my mom still hates herself because she's a tall, heavy woman. And I think that it was more profound when she was in school than it is now. I've never heard my son, body shame a chick for being a tall girl. As a matter of fact, I've heard my little brother, who is 20 right now, he only wants to date tall chicks, bigger chicks, right? I think that it's more accepting now than it was in the 80s. I think that's pretty clear.
Well,
Like
could be.
my mom
That
went through
also could
hell.
be a bit of like, if we were to ask Freud.
Well, I mean, here's the flip side of that. How many of us think that Christy Nome and Caroline Levitt and all these people that have had fucking serious plastic surgery are hot? None of us think that they're hot. We think that they're fucking losers. We think that they're weird. They're plastic Barbie bitches, and that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
I think now we're more acceptable of natural beauty.
neighbor Rooney, I agree. Body positivity has kind of gone too far in the society, but there should be a level of body positivity that's like okay, right? Like people are gonna look different. People have different shapes. People have different sizes naturally. If you're like overweight and it's unhealthy, that's a different thing. I agree, but there are natural differences between people that I think body positivity should be about.
Are we more
originally was
understanding?
intended to be about?
Are we more understanding of the disorders that some of these heavier people have, like diabetes, things that stem from childhood sweet addictions, or like fucking you like Twinkies and now all of a sudden you're diabetic, and you're diabetic from a young age. That doesn't make you ugly. That doesn't make you ugly. It makes us understand the kind of reality that you grew up in. Like you ate a lot of sweets. No big deal. It's not a big deal. You need to work hard. You need to try to help yourself. But at the same time, I'm not looking at you crazy because you ate Twinkies when you were 5 years old. That's crazy. I mean, that's insane. And in the 80s, if you ate too many Twinkies, you were looked at as a fucking fatty, like a dumb, poor fucking fatty that just loves to suck up
Fatty,
fucking,
fat boy, fatty.
you like to chomp cream and fucking eat fucking flour like that. Like, I think now we start to understand that there are certain disorders. I mean,
hang on, Scarecrow. Hang on, Scarecrow. I agree, Barco. People don't have there's a lot of people who you can tell haven't been bullied enough. Like a little bit of bullying is good, so you learn not to be a complete fucking shameless retard all the time. There are definitely people who could have used just a little bit of bullying, not too much, because too much bullying is obviously really, really bad. But like, you should experience a little bit of shame when you're younger, so you learn how to not be an idiot. I do remember growing up, some folks were taking it too far in the 90s, but we course corrected too far. There's a difference with not being anorexic to now, where being morbidly obese has been praised so much. When people try to lose weight with diet or exercise, whether Meghan Trainor or Lizzo, they get dragged in social media. To be fair to Meghan Trainor, she has lost a lot of weight and kind of stopped perpetuating that thing. She's kind of a bitch, though. I worked on one of her music videos.
Well, and the reality is, why the fuck is her weight the thing that we're focused on? This is crazy.
Yeah. We should discourage people from eating too many Twinkies. I agree. You gotta end the YouTube and play the Trevor Moore song. Ugh. Fine, fuck it. Bye, YouTube. Blame neighbor Rooney.